All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to week 2 of the ALTTP Randomizer League. We have a very interesting matchup. Today we've got Jem playing for Team Frame. We'll give an interview if we win against Jexreffy, who is on the Talking Heads. And I'm joined by my co-commentator, Red Aramir. Red, how are you doing today?
Hello, Matt. I'm doing perfectly fine. Excited for this match. Like Jem doesn't need much of an introduction. Is one of the best runners of this game, and Jexreffy. From what I've seen, like I've caught a few daily races where Jexreffy was on stream and also very competent runner. So this is going to be an exciting race, I think.
Yeah. I hope Jexreffy's gameplay is as good as his commentary.
So we have with this week starting the Ambrosia setting, which is we start in standard with a sword, although we can't use it until we talk to Uncle, but we start with a sword. Uncle gives us a boots hint, and every dungeon boss is guaranteed to drop an item. It might still be like rupees or arrows or something, but it is an item, so no dungeon item. And I think that's all the settings there. 7-7.
Yeah, Ambrosia is an interesting game mode. It really kind of changes how you route the dungeons, especially dungeons like a Skull Woods or a Desert Palace, where if you can't get to the boss, you might be better off not going in there at all. So our runners are going to have some kind of interesting, nuanced routing decisions that I'm very curious to see this week, how people play the Ambrosia mode.
Yeah, going for those boots, or are they like out of the way? That also plays a lot into it. So we're going to be starting here in a minute or so, very soon. But until then, the results so far. So out of the team, Frame will give an interview. Jem last week beat Sonny Wrath 11, and Actopoker, who's also hanging out in chat, is had beaten Siberian Bull 9, both out of the Super Salty Dungeoneers. And the Talking Heads, our very own Matt7898 beat T Stewie, and Professor Renderer sadly lost to the Demolisher, both out of the team I've got a Tempered. So
All right, so we got the Uncle hint here. We know that the boots are in Thieves Town, so you expect the runners to prioritize getting there as fast as possible.
Yeah, Thieves Town, of course, one of the dungeons, once we have Dark Relax, is not that hard to get to.
Yeah, an interesting thing will be is if we get Mitt's Dark World access, if you go into Thieves without the hammer, looking for the boots, you might risk having them in that big chest.
Yeah. We find a bottle here that is going to make routing Kakariko a bit easier because we can route in the Sick Kid. Of course, the bottle is empty, so, we can use it for whatever we want to without having to empty it first.
Yeah, and I saw a heart drop from that guard, so there is a chance that they're in a prize pack with a bomb. We'll have to see what the second drop is to know for sure.
Yeah, there's one prize pack that has like an assortment of items with which can have a bomb. Of course, standard, these first 5-6 minutes are going to be mostly the same on both runners. There's not going to be all too much action going to come, but of course, there is still execution to be had.
Yeah, Jem is a very skilled runner at this game, good NMG time, so I expect Jem's escape to be pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, escape you want to do around 6 minutes, and then that is usually considered a pretty good escape.
Yeah, and we see a cane here in the boomerang chest. As well, we saw a second heart drop from the guard prize pack, so we know there are not bombs in that prize spec. So now their next chance will be either to pull something out of a chest or kill the rats in the sewers a little bit later.
The rats and the ropes, I think, also share the same prize spec. So. But yeah, King of Samaria, of course, it's good to have out of the way, but right now it's not going to help us much.
It's a nice 8/ kill by Gem as he pulls the flippers out of Zelda's cell.
Yeah, flippers put a lot of the water checks in logic. That means our runners do not have to fake flipper, so that's good. Can route those in once they do the South Shore checks.
Yeah, and with that 300 rupees they found in Link's house, it's going to be a little bit easier for them to get that done.
Yeah. Of course, Bottle Vendor is going to take 100 rupees from us, and 500 rupees if we want to do Zora, which is now in logic as well, of course, with the flippers.
And you can really see even now in just about 4 minutes in, Gem pulling a couple rooms ahead. You can see that slight edge in execution that we're seeing helping him.
Yeah.
And to answer chat, the boots are in Thieves Town.
And we are going to go into the sewers. Even though we do not have the lamp, we are provided with a light cone in here. This was added to standards in order to make it possible that the lamp can be in logic outside. Even if we come back here, say for a back of escape, if say a glove is in back of escape and we don't find a bomb, the light cone still stays there. And looks like the ropes also have the hard prize back.
Yeah, the ropes and the guards are in the same prize pack. It's the rats that are in a different one.
Right, yeah.
So now we'll see Gem kill some rats, and we'll see if we're actually going to get bombs.
Oh.
There we go.
Yes,
so now we know rats are in the assured bombs prize pack, so every rat drop will drop a bomb. So he may want to pick up a couple more on his way to Kakariko here.
It might get an 8-pack even. And there is a bow on our second sword in the back of escape, so that is definitely worth picking up.
Yeah, it's a very generous escape sequence here. And you see Gem doing a little farming.
And since we have found the map, we can pick up the Sanctuary chest.
Nice 4-drop there for Jex. So now with a sword and bombs, we may see some interesting light world routing. As I saw a 5/6 crystal on Hera, a crystal on Eastern, and I think that was a crystal in Desert. Did you catch that?
No, it was a red pendant. A red pendant on Desert. So, we are going to go into the Lost Woods. Neither of the runners opting to check what the Lumberjack Ledge has. Reasonable.
It's a nice tier 3 triple there, getting 80 rupees for Gem.
Oh yes. Meanwhile, Jexreffy is scapping the 20 rupees that lying in the mushroom spot, and the one in the thief's hideout as well here. Gem is basically like picking these up for Zora money. So I'm not sure why Jexreffy is opting to not pick them up.
He maybe just be figuring he'll get enough. It's very likely that he'll get enough rupees in Kakariko, so he might be taking that chance.
And we are going to get into Kakariko. Of course, with the bottle as well, we have most of this location to clear out.
Yeah, we can see what's in Blind's hut here today.
Some bomb refill, which is nice. You have to worry about that. And a little bit of more cash here.
Yeah, not a whole lot, just some consumables.
Yeah, after this stacked escape, I am not expecting to be too much in Kakariko, honestly. Counting the Uncle chest, we found 5 items in the escape.
Not a whole lot here in Kakariko so far.
Yeah, there's still a couple checks left, but I expect the flippers or the bow to lead to something, probably.
We got another 300 here in the chicken hut, so
Yep.
Jex is going to be saved from not picking up all those 20s.
Indeed. And as mentioned, we see the ticket check, but just 10 arrows this time.
Ooh, fire rod. So that does put our Armos Knights into logic. So we could potentially
provided
get...
provided the big key is not in its vanilla location.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, one of the changes of V31 is indeed that fire rod rooms... Oh, there's a glove on the library ledge.
That's real interesting, knowing that we know that the boots are sitting in the Dark World, so this could point towards an Agaseed, or that could be your intended Titansmiths.
Yeah. It's very interesting, of course. I sadly did not catch what was on the race game because of that little layout bit that GM has in the bottom corner there.
Yeah, I missed that as well. It couldn't have been anything too important.
20 rupees, chat pointing out. Thank you. So both runners are going to take that bow right to Eastern.
Yeah, they're following the bow fire rod breadcrumbs here. Also, we'll very likely find out where our green pendant is today.
Oh yes. Of course, if you talk to Sahasrara, he does reveal what the green pendant is. Misery Mire.
Nice hook shot there in the back of Sahasrara's closet. That doesn't do anything for us right now without a glove or a flute, but will be nice once we get those items.
Of course, generally speaking, the hookshot does improve mobility a little bit, as you can just hook to certain obstacles, or like here in Eastern, there's a chest that you can hook instead of having to go through the long route with the switches. So that's convenient.
Yeah, it's true. You get that little shortcut here in Eastern Palace. All right, so we got a big key here in the cannonball room. So that does mean our runners can get that item off of Armos Knights that they know is there because it's Ambrosia mode in Logic.
Yeah, of course they might still be orphaning a it's very unlikely that they're gonna be actually orphaning it, but it is out of Logic, the vanilla big key chest. Jim, what are you doing?
Well, both of them, forgetting they have the hook shot.
Yeah.
So we see just a map there in the vanilla map chest, I believe, for Eastern Palace.
Yeah, I never remember where the map and compass are, but I do think it is the map chest. Either the map or the compass chest. And the other one I think is the one that's coming up here.
Some really nice Stelphos room there by Gem.
So if it was map and if those are vanilla map and compass checks, then yeah, those were the vanilla items there.
Nice mushroom there.
Yeah.
So our runners do know that there is an item in the vanilla big key chest. That this is the one chest that is out of Logic in Eastern Palace, but should not be a problem for our runners.
It's this is probably one of the easiest sets of dark rooms to do. And both going for it.
Yep, Gem looks like he's through it. I see Jex picked up the key, making his way out. Nice NMG big key skip there by Gem.
Yeah, uses the hearts on the pots to refill the health real quick. Sadly, just a big 20 here in the vanilla big key chest, but that's okay. It's a check out of the way.
Gem opting not to light the torch. Doesn't need it. Just gonna go right through this room.
Yeah, if you know how to set it up, it's not too tough, even if you do it in complete dark. The fire rod just helps and officially puts it in Logic as well. We're gonna see Gem heading here into the last couple of rooms with the red Igors.
Yeah, nice Zelda gamer room there.
And convenient full magic drop as well. We don't need that right now, but it's gonna come in handy later.
Yeah, plus it saves you a little time. Let's see how Gem's Armos Knights go.
Oh, Gem definitely is gonna do the quick strat. Yeah. Those Armos stood no chance. Gets an arrow refill. And the first crystal on the board for Gem.
So other than that mushroom, not a whole lot here in Eastern Palace.
That's a lot of bombs. Ooh, Jax is gonna have to be a bit careful here. Of course, despite all the garbage we found in Kakariko, very few of them were heart pieces or let alone heart containers. So, we still own 4 hearts.
Yeah, Jack's got to be a little careful here. But he cleans it up all right. Gets a little arrow refill as we see Gem making his way to the potion shop to drop off his mushroom.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity to do it. Let's see if Gem is going to opt to hard reset if the mushroom doesn't pay out. Because we do have the Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, and he can get a potion here too if he really wants one.
Just a heart piece.
So he is opting to take the potion over the hard reset, and it looks like he might be heading straight for the Zora. No?
Yeah, he can't go to Sora through the
Yeah, right,
the
he's no
block,
glove.
because we do not have a glove yet. Meanwhile, Jex is gonna go straight to the South Shore area. This is of course Gem routed in the Witch real quick on the way there. Hookshot, of course, makes it possible to get both of the damages in one go with this little V1 clip.
Just a full heart container here in the dam. So I'd like to point out that we've checked a lot, and we do not have any of our 3 Dark World access items. As you see, both runners opting to not go to Egina and head straight for the mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, we still have a bunch of stuff in Logic here, like all the flipper checks, Agina. So there is possibility for there to be something on the way. But also, of course, to point out is that Aghanim also is not in Logic because we have not found the lamp yet.
Third sword is nice, but it is not progression yet.
Yeah, Tempered Sword is going to make things a lot easier, but it's not going to help us proceed here.
So we get a little bit of divergence with Jex going for the Ice Rod Cave here, while Gem is starting his flipper checks with the Hobo.
Yeah, we did saw Lake Kali Island only having 20 rupees as well. Ooh,
Jex gotta be a little careful. Oh, those...
Yeah, those crabs do 2 full hearts of damage if you have green mail. So, but it has a fairy in the bottle from the minimal link.
Yeah, at this stage of the game, it's almost nice to lose that fairy. You don't want that thing. You don't want to forget about that thing and try to Death Warp or something without a mirror. Speaking of the mirror, I guess maybe that was slightly ill-timed waste of that fairy.
Well, couldn't have known that, you know, so...
So again, that mirror is nice, but again, is still not progression yet.
Yeah, we can't go up this mountain, and we also do not have access to the Dark World, so that mirror is not really doing much for us. We still need to find a Moon Pearl, a glove, and a hammer. We have none of these. We do know where the second glove is, at least, but we also know that the boots are in the Dark World, so...
Yeah, I'd also like to point out that for people hoping for Aghanim access, like, if we get Aghanim access, we also get access to the entirety of the Light World Death Mountain, so... I wouldn't be too surprised to get maybe a glove or a lamp or a flute from Zora or the waterfall.
Yeah, we're gonna see those on gems and like right now, those 4 items here.
Still no progression.
It's starting to dry out. I mean, we still have exactly 3 for no Aghanim, but it's starting to look unlikely.
Well, there's a Moon Pearl there on the Zora ledge.
That's one of the pieces we need. I wonder if Gem or Jax are gonna opt to check Agina before going to Aghanim. I guess it depends on what Zora has. If Zora has hammer or glove, then Agina might also be on the table. But then so it would be the mountain. out of logic, but oh boy. Okay.
So now we know Agina has progression.
Oh, yes.
And I would be shocked if it was not the lamp.
Yeah, pretty much has to be the lamp at this point. And Jam doesn't even honor the offer there. It just scorns it, leaves it behind. Oh yeah, that's true. It could be the book or the flute and open up more.
So yeah, it just depends what this is. If it's a lamp, we know Aghanim is on the table.
Yeah.
If it's anything else, if it's a flute, then they're going to go to Death Mountain, but it's just kind of wait and see right now.
Yeah, if it's the book, it opens up Desert Palace for us. If it's the flute, Death Mountain, and if it's a lamp, the castle. It looks like Jax is banking on it being the lamp and goes straight to the castle. And it is the lamp.
This is a ballsy play here by Jex. Dark Aghanim's Tower is not easy. The fire rod makes it easier, but you got to know where those torches are, and most runners are not very practiced in these dark rooms. But it's kind of interesting. Like, I mean, Jex knows that Gem is a better player, right? And so you're kind of seeing him take a bit of a gamble here. This is what I like to see as Jex's teammate. Him giving himself a chance to win, which is good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the dark rooms, even if you know how to do them, are pretty tricky because there are some that have like ledges, like guards that can knock you off the ledge and stuff. So. Of course, Jam will have a little bit of an easier time here. At least the mace does have braziers, so you can light those and get yourself through this section without too much trouble, but still.
He certainly knew where that torch was in the dark maze. He's getting beat up a little bit here by these prize pack guards. These guys are quick and they don't leave you alone.
Yeah, those dagger dudes. Oh, and unfortunately, Jax takes a death here trying to the dark tower. Yeah, those are ruthless enemies, and we still have like very few hearts at the
Nice use of the hook shot there by Gem in the key guard room. All right. Jex made it through the quick guard room here, so it's just one last tricky room here with the pits. There's a torch in this room that you can light, though.
Yeah. Jack's just soldiering through it, and meanwhile, Jam is coming up here on Aghanim. Oh no.
At this point, you might want to think about picking up that lamp. Alright, so we got Jim here at the Aghanim fight. We will see how many blue balls he gets. That is 1 already. Chat, feel free to throw your guesses in there between 1 and 15.
Yep. Of course, for those who do not know, Aghanim, for 1, is going to have the same patterns for both runners. And how Aghanim's fight works is that he does 5 attacks. The first attack is always going to be a reflectable projectile. The 5th attack is always going to be the lightning from the top. And everything on 2, 3, and 4 can be either reflectable projectiles or blue balls that you can't do anything. Looks like 2 is going to be the answer, maybe?
Yeah, that's pretty friendly.
That's a good Aghanim. The statistical probability, like most likely, is I think 3, 2 or 3.
So we just see a vanilla piece of heart here on the pyramid. Now with this item loadout, as Jim checks the map, we got blue pendant on Skullwoods and a 6 crystal on Pod. And so we already knew the green pendant was Misery Mire. That means the rest are just regular crystals.
Mm-hmm. So that does mean we are going to need the Ice Rod and a medallion to access the rock, both of which can be basically anything.
Jex is still struggling with this dark room with the pits. This is a really tough room. It looks like he's got through it now.
Yeah, I would say this is probably the hardest dark room in this dungeon.
So it's interesting with Gem's loadout. You sometimes, if new runners might not really realize that you actually have access to West Dark World. Of course, Gem knows what he's doing, but with the flippers, you can access that hookshot point. And so it looks like he's making his way straight for Thieves Town. He does not have the hammer, as Jex is running around with his red guard here. So he is running the risk that the boots are in the big chest if he's beelining it for Thieves Town. But knowing that those boots, as Jex takes another death here in Aghanim's Tower, what I was saying, knowing the boots lock a glove probably makes it less likely that they're hammer locked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's also noteworthy that Gem started going towards the Graveyard Ledge, but then opted to not. Started to go through the maze that you have to go through if you don't have the glove or the boots or whatnot. Yeah, went like a few steps into the maze and then decided otherwise. So there's the thieves down here, 4 chests in the front. There's guaranteed to be a big key and 4 items in the dungeon overall. So
you see Jex here opting to check the mushroom before going to Aghanim's cave. So Jim has not found the boots yet. So if they're not in this chest, oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's good. That said, even though we found the boots, it's still possible that there is going to be an item in the big chest that, without the hammer, we're going to be orphaning.
Yeah, with Ambrosia, it makes it slightly less likely.
Of course.
And this is a pretty understandable play by Gem here to just get Thieves Town out of the way. So Jex, I will point out, opting still not to go to Aghanim's cave, which he knows 100% has to have progression, and he's taking another run. He won't let Dark Aga Tower defeat him. So yeah, with that map in the attic, there is now a 50-50 chance that there is a item in the Thieves' Town big chest.
Yeah. If we find a small key in the Maiden's chest, then the big chest has an item. If not, then it doesn't have. But then the small key locked itself away.
Now this is rarely seen. Jim, knowing the strat from the all dungeon speedrun of this game, gets through that room without a glove. So if you kill all the enemies in there, the door will open. You can go around the moving walkway side.
And there is an item in the big chest, so that is unfortunate.
Yes, and so this also means that the item on blind is not locked by the hammer.
Yeah.
Which is just an interesting for logic purposes.
Imagine if it is the hammer that is on blind. So that's so whatever the item in the big chest is, if it is required, would be a double dip. So blind, of course, if you do it exactly right, you can keep blind within its script. And Gem showing off how to do it. 300 roops.
Yeah, it looks like Jex here has conquered the dark rooms once again, and should be making his way into the dark world momentarily. Showing a little frustration.
Yeah, I was gonna say that expressing his discontent with this. Still has to be a bit careful. It's only in 2.5 hearts. Has potions, but you can get V 1.0 if you fall into a pit and take damage at the same time. You take double damage.
So we'll see Jem here about to pick up his glove from the library.
Yeah, just mirroring over. That was a mirror bonk of sorts.
You're going a little too low there.
Yeah.
He is on the right spot for the quick warp, but it was just a little too low.
Yeah, that is not a spot that runners will mirror on often.
So the trick here is to align yourself directly with the second rock and go all the way to the edge, and that way you will not bonk and you will get the quick warp.
And there we go, glove for Gem. Still missing a hammer to get full access everywhere. Oh.
Gem's mirror bonking all over the place here.
Yeah. This is a tricky spot to mirror, so,
It's okay. He was only the number 1 seed in the tourney.
Happens to the best of us, as the saying goes, right? And Jax made it into the Dark World now. And while Gem is going to go through these South Dark World check, we're going to see K45 into Stumpy, then Hyde Cave. All of Swamp Palace is in Logic now to look at. Oh no! I'm stupid. We don't have the hammer. Only the first chest in Swamp Palace is in Logic.
Yeah, it's rare to get all of the swamp items before the hammer.
Yeah.
So I would expect to see Gem route this all the way to Hype Cave, and if he does not find a hammer, we'll probably go up the mountain.
Yeah, that seems to be the most likely case here. Of course, mountain, we have Spectacle Rock, we have access to Tower of Hera, and the eastern side of the mountain, so plenty of checks there. Well, there's a book. We might see Bomb's Tablet first. Ether? And Baby's First Shield, so questionable Hive Cave. Like I'm not sure if that is worth the name yet. That is like, you know, up in the air considering we don't know if we need Ether, we don't know if we need the book.
Yeah, and now that you're going to Bombo's Tablet, it makes the desert play that is really not very appealing kind of tempting, because if you don't find the flute, knowing Myers dependent, you might not be back in this area.
Yeah. Yeah, this is of course a pendant desert, so even less appealing, but we can go through it.
Yeah, he is opting to go there. He probably doesn't love this, but it is
so on the way. It's so on the way that, you know, unless you would find the flute, like when are you ever gonna come back here? Especially because both desert and Mire are pendants.
Although desert is, as I was saying at the beginning, one of those 2-item dungeons. So once you find one item, you can just beeline it for the boss. So the routing here gets streamlined. Could get streamlined a little bit depending where the big key is in that first item.
Well, there's the big key.
Yeah, so he wants to see something on the torch here, maybe.
And it is the powder.
So he is opting to do Landmo. Not sure why he's going in here.
He's gonna pick up the small key, so he doesn't have to do it in one of the tile rooms, maybe?
This is no way that's faster.
Yeah, no, but that would be my only guess about this, you know?
No, he's forgotten what he's doing.
Oh, yeah. Maybe he's forgotten Ambrosia has items on the boss guarantee. So these 2 chests are going to be the map and the compass, respectively.
I will say, when I play Ambrosia, I do this all the time, and it's a mistake you make once during the seed, and then you feel like an idiot, and then you move on.
Yeah, I mean... okay, Jen did realize what was going on.
And so now you see he's opting to skip Land Molas, which is obviously perfectly reasonable.
Yeah.
Now he's going up here. This looks like maybe a pod play.
Could be pod, but also could be that he wants to get over, do King's Tomb Graveyard into the mountain axis.
Maybe that wouldn't be a bad play either.
Oh, and Catfish is also... yeah, we got the glove, so you can access Catfish as well. Yeah, pod without hammer is definitely not appealing. It has a lot of items, yes, but, you know, if you still have, like, item locations open that you can route in nicely, like Catfish into Graveyard and King's Tomb into Death Mountain.
Yeah, Jem being pretty thorough here, opting to do this when he has all of Light World Death Mountain access. Find a boomerang, got to pick that up just for the menu.
Yeah, the menuing is a lot more comfy with a boomerang in the inventory. And of course, there's also like a couple of strats that you can use the boomerang for hitting switches and such. Yeah, and since Jam is not marrying or saving quitting, I do think we're gonna see both of the graveyard checks there, and I think that's why Jam opted to not pick up the Graveyard Ledge on the first way here, because he knew that he was gonna be getting the boots and thus do Kingston as well, and route it in there.
Yeah, it's certainly a reasonable way to do this. Nice Quake medallion could be useful.
Yeah. So that's 2 out of 3 medallions. That could give us access to Treasure Rock. Of course, Bombos might still be the one, and both of those are Garbo.
Jex forgetting he does not have the gloves.
It's so rare that you go into Thief's Town without a glove.
Oh, I would 100% be doing the same thing. Gotta be a little careful here. Gonna chug that blue potion. She'll give him beams for this room too, which is kind of nice.
I imagine that Jam here is gonna go maybe check the Lumberjack ledge and the Bumper ledge as well while we're already here. And do the bomb books as well, of course.
Yeah, this is kind of a nice little piece of routing here by Gem, just really cleaning all this up. He probably doesn't really ever want to go back to Skull Woods, which is a pendant, so it'd be tough to get back here. So we see Jex about to head into his blind fight.
There was a blue mail on the Bumper ledge. We're probably not going to see anyone pick that up. And Jam is going to blind pull the Aghanim Cave. What a piece of heart.
Jex staying on script here for the first 2, opting to use the cane on phase 3. Not bad. Yeah.
Cane is a surprisingly cool item to use on blind here. You can place the block down where the head is going to respawn between phases and get a free hit in there.
So Jack's gonna go down here, pick up his glove, clean up some of the things that Gem has already cleaned up here. Hopefully he has a better time mirroring his glove than Gem did.
Yeah, it doesn't even do the ledge mirror there, just straight up goes down, goes up the stairs here. But gets harassed by those soldiers.
Yeah, that red guard there, on that screen is he's a real nuisance.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Gem back on the mountain here.
That was a flute there in Spectacle Rock Cave. Oh, getting that double jump, that's a pain. I hate when that happens.
Yeah. Landed upright so that he would hit the ledge there and drop down both. So it was a pain. So the glove and the lamp were the logical access to Death Mountain. And Gem gets the bomb jump. That one's deceptively tricky to land.
Yeah, it's very punishing if you mess it up, for sure. Now Gem heading into Tower of Hera, and another thing with Ambrosia, it makes the Hera pot glitch even better because it's less likely that you're going to be skipping an item if you don't grab the big key, depending on how it's laid out.
it is there, so we can grab the big chest as well once we get up there. It's very likely that Gem is gonna use Hera Pot regardless. Yeah, already
I think you might be doing the hook speed one. Yeah, this is, I love this.
Yeah, this is probably the coolest variation of the Hera Pot, in my opinion.
That was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Definitely way faster than the bomb setup. Did we see an item in Hera?
I don't think so.
So that
actually no.
Yeah, is.
Yeah, I think there is. I think we've seen all the dungeon items. And Jax is gonna check that first chest in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, I like this play. So, I mean, with all those deaths in Ega Tower, he's got to know he's behind. He's got to do some serious gambling to catch up to a runner like Gem.
Yeah, for sure. If the hammer is in here, or any other progression that that might lead Jex getting to the hammer, that might be really good.
See Gem opting to check the Hera basement, not having non-Aga Dark World access. This is obviously perfectly understandable.
Yeah. And on top of that, like, can clear most of that mountain, so you'd rather, make sure you don't miss anything here before you have to climb back up and use the mirror portal and everything. So
yeah, just a big key there in that first chest of swamp that we have access to, and that Ropa almost taking Jex out there. That was close.
Yeah, Jex still is on green mail, so it's still taking a lot of damage from these Dark World enemies. Alright, Hera Basement. What have you got for us today? And Jax also is gonna finally pick up that lamp. Oh, it's just a bug net! Ooh. That was 2 trash items in Tower of Hera. The shield upgrade and the bug net.
Yep, so now Jim having to go back down the mountain because he still does not have the hammer. Gonna have to access East Death Mountain via the hook shot.
Yeah. Of course, jumping down is not that bad, at least.
So we see Jex here opting to make his way into Desert Palace as well. We'll see if he makes the same land mode decision as Gem did.
It's very possible that progression is on Land Molas, namely the hammer. It's basically, honestly, the hammer and possibly Bombos and Ice Rod are. Well, there's the hammer. It is in Paradox Cave in the 2 chest room. That said, Land Molas might hold, say, the Ice Rod, or if Bombos is the medallion for Turtle Rock. Oh, nice silvers. Getting all the good stuff here in Death Mountain.
Interesting. So we are potentially an Ice Rod away from having Mitts go mode, which is always an interesting situation.
Well, Bombos is up on the floating island, so we do know where all the 3 medallions are. So even if Bombos is required for Turtle Rock, it's basically right under the carpet.
So yeah, after this play by Jim, I would expect to see him maybe activate that flute, get the powder, and head to pod. Or possibly swamp then pod.
Yeah, that seems very likely. Swamp, then pot, or pot first.
And I do believe we're seeing Jex head to Lanmola. So this is one of the chances that he has to make up some serious time. If you're a Jex fan, you really want to see an Ice Rod sitting here on Lanmolas. We also see Gem going back for Spike Cave after getting that hammer. Just being very
also found the Cane of Burna in the Spiral Cave as well. So is following this this item breadcrumb line.
To answer a question in chat, Ice Rod is the worst go mode, so it is definitely worse than Mitts.
Yeah, Mitts actually does lock a lot of the Dark World dungeons because you can't go to Ice Palace, Misery Mire, or to Rock.
Yeah, especially after getting that flute and having Misery Mire as a pendant, you really want to get your Ice Rod first so that you never even have to touch that area.
And it looks like Gem is opting for Pot. Isn't even activating the flute yet.
Just a big 20 here on Lambo.
Yeah, sadly the gambles that Jax has been doing to make up for that lost time on Aga is not paying out.
Oh, yeah, so I would expect to see Jex head up to Death Mountain as well. And I expect to see Gem just start crushing some of these crystal dungeons that he has access to.
Yeah, I imagine that once Gem clears Pot, Swamp is next on the list. Unless he finds the Mitts, in which case he... Well, if he finds the Mitts here in Pot, then he's in Go mode. Almost in Go mode, actually.
Yeah,
I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting the dumb Ice Rod. Yeah, Ice Rod is basically anywhere that is not trying to get it. And Gem is very thorough here. Is gonna take the Vanilla Big Key Chest. Of course, the front of Pot here has 6 item locations, at least 4 which have to be small key. So it's very likely that there's a key, but this time there is not a key there. So if you find anything that isn't a small key in the front here, you know there's only 1 chest left that could potentially hold an item. And if you find 2 non-small keys, then you know, okay, everything else is keys.
Yeah, and so Gem finding 1 item in the front, it's fairly likely that he's going to find 2 keys or a key and a big key on this right side.
Well, there's a second item in the front here.
So Jex here, heading up Death Mountain, going to grab his flute. Nice block kick there by Gem. I love that strat. I do not know how to do it myself.
Yeah, I really like people using the Cane of Samaria like that. It's really spiffy. There is that big key.
So yeah, he's, I believe he's found all of the small keys here in Pod.
Yeah. So the rest of the items have to be map, compass, and other items.
So now, because it's Ambrosia, he knows that the big chest and the other dark maze chests have to be the map and the compass, so he can mirror out and head straight for Helmasaur.
Yeah. It's of course, Helmasaur is guaranteed to have an item.
Yeah, Jem has learned his lesson from Desert Palace.
Using the King of Samara to not have to push the block there, or statue rather. And with silver arrows, the Helmasaur King is not going to be a problem if Jem does even switch over to the bow. Tempered Sword swipes also do a lot of damage to him.
Looks like we're going to get a Harapot here out of Jex, doing the more kind of traditional bomb setup here. Jem getting the swag boom there on the second try.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I didn't even know you could do that, but you know, the more you know.
Yeah, the real hard one is with the blue boomerang.
Oh yeah.
Jack's lineup is Harapot. That looks okay, I think. No, I don't know this setup, so I don't know exactly what's going wrong here.
Yeah. There we go.
Jem, taking down Helmasaur, no problem. So pod completely empty, it looks like.
Yep. We didn't even find an item in pod. It's just rupees and arrows and stuff.
Jem opting to save and quit. I'd expect to see him go to Swamp here.
And Moldrum goes down here for Jack's third crystal. And one of the Pyramid Fairy crystals. Speaking of which, Jem has access to the Pyramid Fairy. I imagine that might be a play that Jem is going to make after Swamp Palace.
Yeah, nice little piece of routing here to be able to take out Swamp immediately, do those Pyramid Fairy checks.
Yeah.
So Jex opting to check the basement, not taking that gamble.
Yeah, I think in this situation it's, you know, the smart play to do. Even if you do fall behind, this is a good play because, you know, otherwise you have to climb all the way back up if that item you're looking for is in that basement chest.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. It's the same thing with Gem. You don't even
Yeah.
have regular Dark World access yet. You can't really be skipping items like this.
And Jack's gonna find their bug net.
Yeah, to answer chat, Gem did go and get his bug net out of the basement.
As evidenced by our amazing tracker's work, tracking today for us is Antism. Thank you for doing such a great job and keeping us honest. While Gem is gonna go check what Swamp has for us today.
Yeah, he's really running out of locations for where these mitts have to be.
At this point, if we find a map or compass, well, maybe not one of them, but if we find both of them, when there's 2 items on the left side, I could see Gem even opting to go back in and do left side. Well, there's one of them. Looks like Gem isn't even gonna bother and do Argus first, just straight to the left side. Already knows, okay, there's 1 item there, so you know.
Yeah, he's already got the big key and the map, so this makes perfect sense.
Wouldn't be the first time that the mitts are on left side swamp either, so you know.
Alright, so Jex now getting his hammer. Probably just going to check Spiral Cave here and then make his way following Gem's footsteps to Swamp and or Pod.
Yeah, Gem tried a little clip there. You can hookshot that skull that is on that ledge from that staircase, but you have to line it up perfectly, and Gem didn't. But that's why he used hookshot there. So, well, it was just 1 item on the left side. The compass is the other item here. And, well, that was not worth it.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, though. Even if you find mitts here, it really just, outside of ice pallets, which you don't really want to full clear anyway, it opens up a lot of places that you don't necessarily want to go. Like Dark Death Mountain without the ice rod, you don't really want to do that, so you might as well just be thorough here.
Yeah. Let's see what the bat has for us. We do know that all of these items must be, well, items. Since we found all the dungeon items already.
Yeah, at this point, he's just praying for a nice rod, just to get that out of the way.
Yeah, once we have the ice rod, we're only mitts away from go mode. Since we do know where the bombos is.
So really, is all Gem have left is Argus and the Pyramid Fairy?
I think so, yeah. Can't do the Maya area because we don't have mitts, including the checkup of so yeah. Yeah, I think that's it.
Getting a 0 cycle Argus attempt here. This looks... Ooh, he could still salvage it.
Yeah, close.
Not quite.
I think Argus was waiting there because it was just as the pops would start spiraling out. Like it was just entering that attack, and I think that was the sand card.
So you see Jex opting to activate the flute.
Oh yeah, Jet actually bringing up a good point. Skull Woods. We haven't seen either of the items in there because none of our both runners have gone there.
That's a good point.
Oh yeah, and Magic Bat too, now that Jax is walking over there. So Jam is gonna show us the Pyramid Fairy here. He's gonna do the this glitch, but messes it up, unfortunately. Just some rupees on the Magic Bat, though. So
Yeah,
Skullwoods or Pyramid Fairy are to play.
Yeah, the Pyramid Fairy is a little faster after you've beaten Aga. I've never seen that, the non-dash strat here. Usually people dash up and try and hit it with the mirror right on 0, but he got it that time, so that's good.
Mm-hmm. So let's see what the fairy has for us today. Jam might opt to chuck one of the bottles in there, see if we can get something good out of it. Heart piece and bomb. So it's Skullwoods. It has to be Skullwoods, right?
Wow, so he might be feeling kind of bad now. Both these runners had access to Skullwoods a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were able to full clear it basically once we had Dark World access.
Yeah, they could have done it on the way to get their boots if they wanted to.
Yeah, so Jam is opting to go activate their flute first. And then is probably gonna head up and do Skullwoods, I imagine. I don't think Jam would opt to do Lamolos first, because that's just one item as opposed to 2.
Yeah, you got to imagine Lamolos is his last location at this point.
Yeah, and we know Lamolos doesn't have anything, so. Oh yeah, Chet bringing up a good point. Keystone Big Chest also, we orphaned that. We didn't have the hammer before clearing it for both runners as well.
Right, that's true. Forgot about that one as well.
Yeah, it could be Vanilla Mitts.
So you see Jim now opting to activate the flute, waiting till he had another reason to head to the village before doing that. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Nice fluting away.
Oh, is he doing? He's
forgetting his
that.
minutes.
Yeah. But he's already here, so I guess logic is here. Okay, I'll do Lamolas. Fine game. Had access to Lamolas for a while as well, so understandable, I guess. Though I personally definitely would have gone for Skullwoods first, especially because where he was in Kakariko.
Yeah, I don't know. This could have been a mistake. He might be thinking that it's more likely that his opponent would have gone to Skullwoods than do Lamolas, so he's making the play that thinks gives him a better chance to win. I'm not sure what's going on here.
Maybe Jam is feeling behind after doing Pyramid Fairy and like full clearing Swamp. Yeah, use some big chest to Skullwoods. That's pretty much the only locations we haven't seen that are still accessible.
It just looked like he was thinking about doing a hammer jump there. but I think he remembered. I don't think he has the big key yet, right?
I don't recall. Oh, the big key's here, I think, in this hallway, if I remember right.
Yeah, so I think he remembered and decided to bail.
Yeah. So we're gonna see Jam do Lemolos as well. First with the Severus, just one shot, one kill. Unless you miss. But still, 2 cycle. Not too bad. It's the red pendant.
So now, after this little delay, we're definitely seeing Skullwoods now.
Mm-hmm.
But for these runners, even if the mitts are in the Thieves Town Big Chest, I don't think you can feel too bad about that because of the boots hint, right? You know your opponent. Everybody in this seat is beelining it for Thieves Town, and you had to go a lot deeper into the logic to get the hammer. So even if the mitts are there, I don't know how bad Gem's going to feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we are seeing Skullwoods first. That makes sense. You can also check the ped, which still could potentially be Ice Rod.
Yep.
I would expect to see him go straight to the back.
Yeah, clear the boss first. Or not. I would have imagined, oh, it's just grabbing a key.
Still nothing here in the front of Skullwoods as Jex is making his way to his Helmosaur fight.
So whatever it is that we're gonna be finding here, it is in the back. Or it might be in the big chest, but we know at least one item has to be in Mafia, though. Well, there's
one.
Yeah. So the suspense keeps rising as Mothula is probably gonna be the one to hold our progression. It's the mitts, or maybe the shovel leading to the mitts. That's pretty much the only options that we have.
Yeah.
Then we're on to a Ice Rod hunt, and that is no bueno.
Jim going for the fast mummy hellway there, getting bumped right into the hand. That's always rough.
Yeah. At least didn't spend too much magic on the fire rods there. Make sure to dodge the wall master. With Tempered Sword, even Greenmail Mothula isn't too bad. Still annoying and can opt to not cooperate at all, but you know.
So that was a pretty good Mothula fight.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
It is the shovel leading to the midst then.
Yeah, to answer chat, we know the Bombos medallion is on the floating island, which is locked by the mitts. So it doesn't really matter what medallion Turtle Rock has.
Yeah, we found the other two, and
All right, here we go, boys. Let's see. There's an ice rod on this pedestal.
just a little piece of love. Well, no Aga pet seed, as chat probably hoped, but Ice Rod Hunt is still on. It can be in Misery Mire, it can be in Ice Palace, it can be in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, so these mitts are either in Thieves Town or at this dig spot.
Yeah.
I better see a shovel dash here. Oh, wow. Well, there you go, boys. Vanilla mitts.
Vanilla
Good thing
Mint.
we got the shovel, so we now know for sure that it's vanilla mitts.
Yep. Yeah, that is mean. That is gross. I have no words. So this was a required double dip as well.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, I gotta wonder how he's in 3 chance there was an item in the big chest. I think you gotta assume your opponent might have done the same play, which in this case they did. So to answer chat, the hammer was on Death Mountain, which was locked by a glove, which was locked by the boots that were in Thieves Town. That is why Gem did not get the big chest.
Yep.
And so after all this garbage, having to double dip Thieves Town, you still have an ice rod hunt in front of you.
Yeah. Like, what's even worse is that despite Aghanim, this seed started out so promising with like a pretty loaded escape and just generally like decent item distribution, and then this, you know?
Surprise, surprise. Now, does he do the Smith chain? Or does he start going to those crystals right away? Looks like he is going to opt to do the Smith chain.
Yeah, at this point, like, you could gamble that Ice Rod isn't Turtle Rock, and the likelihood of that isn't bad, but on the other hand, like, you want to be thorough and not have to double dip Turtle Rock unnecessarily, because that is, you have to go through the entire dungeon again when you have to go back up. So very little room for speeding it up at all.
Yeah, the double dip T-Rock is always a bad feeling. And even if the Ice Rod's here, it can save you a full clear of Ice Palace, which definitely makes up a couple minutes.
Oh, yes. Plus, with Mirror and Flute, getting this done is also not too bad. I assume that Gem might also opt to check the my area.
Yeah,
Yep.
that seems like a reasonable play. I seriously doubt we'll see him go into Mire, but at the least we'll get the 2 chests here in the shed and
And the
the checkerboard cave area. Yeah.
Quake it is for Mire, Texas. Well, there it is. Thank goodness.
Very nice. So with that, in 1 hour, 23 minutes, Gem is in go mode.
Yeah, even if TR requires bombos, we know that it's basically right underneath the doormat, so you can just walk over. But first we're going to see a Go Mode Ice Palace, which is decently fast. Oh, Gem only has 3 hearts though, so that might actually be a little dangerous.
Yeah, with green mail too. I did see a blue there in his inventory.
I do think still has the fairy that they picked up from, I think it was Hype or something. Or Mini Molder maybe, I don't remember. It was like a bunch of, one of them was a fairy bottle.
Ice Rod was in the Boyne shed, in Misery Mire.
The Boyne shed?
Actually, I think the other one might be the Boyne shed. I don't know. It's in the Mire shed, whatever you want to call it.
There we go. Gonna see an Ice Palace bomb jump. Gem, of course, has done this hundreds of times, so knows exactly how to line it up.
Yeah, just a little slow to get that hammer dash past the fire bar there, but still pulled it off pretty nicely.
And down goes Argus here for Jex. So that is one more crystal on the board.
Seeing a really nice go mode Ice Palace here from Gem.
Oh shit. Gem with 2 hearts into coast there. Already just scared, just thinking about it. But wow, that was one of the cleanest cold stairs I've ever seen.
Yeah, you don't see too many double pokes in Rando, that's for sure. That was a really awesome fight.
Yeah, I didn't even see what the item was, but it whatever.
And so now we are just a go mode Turtle Rock here from making our way into Gannis Tower.
Yeah. Of course, Turtle Rock is an interesting dungeon because depending on the key layout, it might not even be all that much faster to go mode it.
Yeah, the only thing that can slow Gem down is if Turtle Rock is bombos, but in that case he just has to walk on over to the floating island. And to answer chat, Ambrosia does not affect GT.
Yeah, GT is still exactly. It's just that we start with the sword. Uncle gives us a boots hint as he leaves the house in standard. And all bosses, like the dungeon bosses out of the Crystal Pendant dungeons, those 10 bosses are guaranteed to be one of the items. Otherwise, exactly. Just ether. We don't even need to pick up bombos. That's good.
Yeah, so now the only real question, as you were saying, is where is this Turtle Rock Big Key? It looks like we had Jex here making the Skullwoods play as well, although he could be beelining it straight for Thieves Town. I think he is. So this is interesting. It's a bit of a gamble here that obviously will pay off for him. This is just a reminder to chat. The mitts are in the Thieves' big chest, and both runners cleared Thieves' Town without the hammer, because the hammer was locked behind the boots, which was locked behind a glove, and the boots were in Thieves' Town, which is what the uncle told us at the beginning of the seed. And Jex had that Hellway dash and bailed out of it.
Yeah, this is actually really good for Jex, because that means they will find their mitts much faster than Gem did.
Yeah, he's going to make up a full Skull Woods clear here.
Yeah, the question is, what is Jex going to do afterwards? Because for the Ice Rod, Jex needs to go to the Mire Shed, but for all we know, Jex might opt to do Smith Chain first, or, you know, dip into the 2 pendant dungeons, or go full clear ice. But this definitely makes up a good chunk of time, at least for finding the mitts.
Yeah, and I will say, other than the mishaps in Agadim's Tower, Jex has been playing very well. It's tough going up against a player like Gem. And not too many runners are going to look too good against him. But Jex is definitely holding his own.
Unfortunately, Jex is opting to do Ice Palace first. So this is where Gem's overworld, like preference for overworld checks in this seed has paid off. So we're gonna see Jex full clear Ice Palace, which can take a long time. Of course, there are 3 items in Ice Palace. We know one of them is on Cold Stare, which I think was ended up being bombs or something like that, and 2 other items otherwise.
Yeah, this does kind of show the reward you get sometimes for being thorough, being able to avoid full clearing a long, slow dungeon like Ice Palace. Although finding an item there, if I were Jex, there's no way I'd be going to the right side of Ice Palace.
Oh, yes.
Knowing that there's either 1 or 0 items over there.
Yeah, right side of Ice Palace adds a whole chunk of additional time, of course. So we'll see what Jax is going to opt to do here. It would be in the best for Jax to not do right side, even if there is 1 item there, and try to get some of the overworld checks out of the way.
And he did find that half magic, which
yeah,
you can never complain about half magic, especially on your way to Cold Stare.
And we're gonna have to find a small key here on Laser Bridge. It's probably going to be in the bottom chest because Gem opted to... Oh, there it is. It's not going to bother with that fourth chest. Of course, a runner of Gem's caliber has so many hearts, even though only in green mail, but has so many hearts, enough safeties, and, you know, tempered sword, so you don't really need anything else.
Yeah, we see Jex having a little trouble with the Ice Palace bomb jump. I gotta say, I don't know what the visual cue is for the sprite that he's using. There you go.
Yeah. Some runners use the Link sprite, actual sprite. Others use the shadow. So if it's a similar shadow to the regular Link one, it's easier to set up with that.
Nice backdoor Trinex there from Gem.
Yeah, that's
pretty clean fight.
That's the quick strat, and then of course for the first first 2 or so seconds, Trinex is vulnerable on the head rather than the middle chunk.
Also, with that, I believe we have a game to play. Does the bot work still?
I think the bot works. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we can try. So, in Ganon's Tower, there are 22 locations in which the big key that we need could be. And here on Speed Gaming, we like to guess which it is with chat. A little fun here. So, Matt, where do you think it's going to be?
Number 10.
Number 10? I'm going to put in a 7 today. Yeah, so if you do win, you're going to be on the Big Key Guessing Game leaderboards for the league. And if you're the first, you get like a whole chunk of points. If you guessed the number as well, but we're not the first, you still get some small amount. I think it's 5 points. Be onto the leaderboard.
Yeah, looks like we got 23 points for our winner.
And the Arrow of Evil's main here in the Hope Room. What was if you're asking what Aghanim Blue Bolt count was, that was 2. If you're asking what on the Lumbercheck ledge was, that was a heartbeat. Question here in chat. Small key on the torch. R.I.P. Bob.
Yeah, so that's 3 so far. So Jim opted to do the right then left. There's no small key on the right side, so it looks like we're going to see a full left here.
Well, 7 was a key, just at the right one. There's the
map chest here. Ooh, Uncle Bombs. See Jexreffy here heading into his Colster fight.
Yeah, with Half Magic Colster is a lot less threatening.
Looks like we're going to see a more traditional attempt at the 6 slash here.
And then just wails away on the remaining puffs with the Fire Rod. Takes him down. It was bombs. Fourth bottle. That was number 9, I think.
Yeah, that was number 9. So we got to see what Jex does now. Hopefully he checks the Mire Shed before going up Death Mountain. There's 10, 11, 12, and 13, so rip my guess there.
Coming up as 14 is going to be Bob's chest. Meanwhile, Jax is stocking up a bit on potions. Never hurts to have some safety. Alright, let's hope that Jax is going to flute to 6 next. And missed flutes.
It looks like he's trying to move it. He might have put it in the wrong direction.
Nope. Is opting to dive Turtle Rock first. Armos on ice here for Gem with the silver arrows. It's one shot per Armos, so no biggie. And let's see what these 3 chests set for us. 15. It's 15 for the big key.
All right, shoutouts to Noistra. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but you are the winner of the Big Key guessing game.
And the
Congratulations.
only one who guessed 15 as well.
All right, now we can see Gem handle Ganon's Tower. In my opinion, this is the best part of the game, and it's always fun to watch really good runners tear it apart.
Yeah, like, you'll see so many cool strats here. Jam is just gonna blaze through this gauntlet here.
Yeah, so and if this holds out, it looks like Team Frame will give an interview if we win. Is gonna move to, I'm guessing, 3-0 in the league so far. They have a very good team and have a real good shot of taking down the this division that we're all in here.
Indeed.
It was a nice cleanup after missing that first silver arrow shot there. It can be tough to time that with the lag.
Yeah, the lag, the conveyors, and the ice physics all combined. It's a bit of a pain.
We see Jex here searching Hookshot Cave for his ice rod that we know is located in the Mire Shed.
Some really nice and clean gauntlet here out of Gem. But yeah, the team Farime will give an interview, has indeed 2-0 so far. So if they win this, then it is 3-0.
Yeah, there's some really strong teams in this league, and that team is definitely up there with the best of them.
Quite so. Is as far as I know, the favorite to win this division as well. And Moldon 2, not a problem either. Of course, with temperature, like any Moldon isn't too big of a deal.
See, Jex opting for the Death Warp out of the roll room. Now we see the Aga 2 fight.
Bit more tricky than the Aga 1.
Yeah, this is a pretty tough pattern here too. Gem handles it pretty well, getting a double off that one.
Yeah. Another double here. So, oh, this is also a pretty nasty pattern. We get the 2-2-2.
Not bad. Pretty good to get a 3 cycle off those patterns.
Yeah, those were pretty nasty patterns. And off we go to fight Ganon. Gonna crash into the Pyramid of Power. And then we're gonna crash Ganon's party. course, Gem is basically everything one would want in a Ganon fight. Tempered Sword, Silver Arrows. Ganon's gonna go down in no time.
Yeah, you see him go for the 1-in-1 cycle here with the Tempered Sword.
Yeah, pretty good pattern for it too. Like, position rather. And just
Yeah,
wail
bottom
away.
bottom left can be a little tricky. He's having no problem handling it though.
Yeah.
Looks like very few or no warp so far. Oh, there's a couple. It's now just 4 silver arrow shots away from finishing this seed.
Ooh, gets a double right on the first shot.
Yeah, it's a tight double too.
And another
Picks up
double.
the torch glitch.
Didn't even need the torch glitch, just double shotting Ganon into the wazoo.
And with that, get your GGs out in chat for Gem, who will finish this seed with a time of 1:44.05. Pretty good considering he hired last location, the gloves in the Thieves' Big Chest.
Yeah, official SRL time is 1:44.06. Gem here finishing. Team Kurame will give an interview if we win, picking up their 3rd victory.
Yeah, and with that, so they'll move to 3-0 in the league so far, and the Talking Heads are going to move to 1-2.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get Jim in here.
Meanwhile, Jex is gonna do the mini cave here. Finds the gold sword.
Yeah, so Jex is going to make his way to Laser Bridge, where we know he will not find the Ice Rod. But I would imagine going to that Mire Shed will be one of the first places he checks, and he can save his portal if he opts to mirror out of the bridge there and can preserve it after getting the Ice Rod.
Oh yeah, our tracker Antisim pointing out that since Aghanim is dead, we can't preserve the portal. Actually,
Right, that's true. That kind of sucks. So Jack's about to get the bad news here.
Yeah. And at least we'll find out what this 4th chest holds. Just the map. Of course, it had to be the map, yeah. I think about it.
So I think I know what that pause here means on Jex's side. Do you have the room open?
I have the room open. Jexreffy has forfeit. Is opting not to complete the save. Of course, like I completely like the Ice Rod, Ice Rod Hunt, and you already know that your opponent beats you, so might as well. So, GG's also to Jex, of course, who is gonna join us in just a moment.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get him in here.
Hello, Jax. GG's to you.
You want to call that a good game? Oh, man. Oh.
Listen, man, I admire the gumption it takes to take on that agate tower with no lamp.
The worst part is I've done it before. Like, there's been multiple times that I've done multi-worlds where you get into BK mode, and I've, because, hey, you got nothing else to do, might as well practice Dark Aga, so I knew I could do it. It's just that first time when I got through the third floor and just got bodied by those guards to death, I think I just got tilted at that point.
Yeah, it's tough because once you die a couple times, you just want to keep going just because you don't want to let it defeat you.
I saw someone in chat said that I knew it was lost from Aga 1. Like, yeah, that was my thought, because it just was, by the time I failed that hard on doing Dark Aga, I just kind of knew, okay, there was no way I was going to come back and win this. And then just as the time kept creeping along and there was no dot done from Gem, I just thought for certain, like, okay, I was just like, what's going on? And then at some point I was like, once I found Vanilla Titans, it was like, okay, at this point, I just have to assume my only shot I have left is hope that Ice Rod is along the way and just pretending I'm in go mode, because if it was at Pedestal, if it was in Mire, if it was in Skullwoods, I still had already lost. And so just trying to go mode was my last hope for any shot at a win.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It's at one point you just gotta really redline it and give yourself the best chance to win. When you picked up those mitts, were you thinking in your head that Gem probably did the same thing? Because with the way this seed was set up, with the Uncle Boots hint being in Thieves Town, it was a really easy thing to do, and it turns out you both did it. But when you picked up the mitts, did you think that is what had happened?
Well, see, because I'm also noticing someone else noticing my gambles. I mean, the thing was, as the seed was going on, like, that, my train of thought was Gem had to, like, there had to have been something that caused Gem to get messed up. And so that's why I started doing things like, okay, there's an item in Hera Basement, do Hera Basement. There's for certain an item on Left Side Swamp, do Left Side Swamp, because again, like, just kind of in that thought of, I'm so far behind, the only way I can try to come back is, a runner of Gem's caliber is gonna, like, if there's an item, Left Side Swamp, Hera Basement, Thieves Town, Big Chest, like, he's gonna skip those things, because of the caliber of runner I'm up against. And so it was, okay, just start doing the things he wouldn't do, just hoping for a miracle.
It's kind of funny that you say that, because Gem actually did not opt to skip a lot of the stuff. He actually decidedly was very thorough. He did Left Side Swamp. The second he found the map in one of the chests, like in the early chests, beeline to the left side, and then also opted to do Hera Basement and everything. So full cleared everything until, had only Skullwoods and Thieves Town left. Then he went to Skullwoods, and then he did Thieves Town.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that the one thing he did skip was Land Molas, and he ended up going back there. So when you were making your way to Land Molas, we were kind of saying the Ice Rod really needs to be here to have this have a chance of turning around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it was, I mean, Dark Aga aside, like, the fact that I was walking into TR and still thought I had a shot in this race was I at least feel good about how that Dark Aga played out. But,
Yeah, we were saying that really, other than that Dark Aga play, your execution was very good. I mean, it's tough for anybody to look really good going up against, Gem, right?
Mm-hmm.
But man, you really held your own. You played well.
Well, and that's kind of in some ways kind of the thing that stings a little bit about this is because, you know, Matt, you and I are, you know, on the same team and whatnot, and we kind of, as we've kind of been planning for this setup, we just kind of, when we saw, you know, we were playing for the Frymade team this week, it was basically like, okay, we pretty much realized we're getting an 0-2 this week. And just, there is kind of that, okay, I feel really good about what I did, but at the same time, there's still that, like, man, I actually had a shot at this. So. But, anywho, it was GG's to Gem, GG's to you guys for commentating, and Tissim for tracking, and just, and everyone watching in chat. I hope it was at least an entertaining race, despite the fact that, well, I knew I was gonna get wrecked. I just didn't realize that it was gonna be the seed doing it. So.
Yeah, well, thank you for allowing yourself to be showcased on stream.
Thank you. You guys have a good day.
GG's, Jax.
All right, and with that, so thank you to our tracker, Antisim, and the restreamers, and shoutouts to Fear Agent for making this all happen, and shout out to my co-commentator. It's been a pleasure, and thanks for joining me on this.
Thank you as well, Matt. It was fun to commentate this race with you. Before we go, just one more thing. There is going to be a whole slew of league matches coming up today. So starting in about 40 minutes or 30 minutes actually, is Ravis versus Divisigns. I think that is Team Hime versus Team Oops, da war es auch nicht. And that is starting in about 30 minutes right here on Speed Gaming. And other than that, like, just check out the schedule. There's like so many league matches coming up. It's ridiculous. So make sure to check those out if you want more rando in your veins. Speed Gaming, not Speed Ganon, but I mean it's kind of fast Ganon as well. So there you go. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you very much to our runners, Jexreffy and Gem. Make sure to give them a follow, and also, of course, to our tracker Antisim for keeping us honest and up to date. So make sure to give those a follow as well. My co-commentator Matt. With that said, goodbye.